Most men are not destroyed by their enemies. They are destroyed by the people who were supposed to love them. A boy grows up inside a palace, gold on the walls, servants at his command, the future of an empire written into his name. And yet, every morning, he wakes up feeling like a mistake. This is not the story of a king who loved pleasure. It is the story of a son who never felt worthy of love. And when love is missing, men look for substitutes, sometimes in power, sometimes in excess, sometimes in the arms of strangers. This is the psychological anatomy of King Edward VII, the heir who waited 59 years for approval and spent those 59 years building a life that shocked Europe. But to understand the man, we have to begin with the wound. Albert Edward was born in 1841, the first son of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. From the outside, his life was destined for greatness. From the inside, it was engineered like a military project. Victoria and Albert did not simply want a son, they wanted a masterpiece, a ruler shaped with precision, a mind sculpted by discipline, a monarch without weakness. They built a rigid educational system around him before he was even old enough to understand what it meant to be a child. 6 days a week, endless hours of study, Latin, German, history, philosophy, political theory, reports written about his performance, every mistake documented. There was no room for softness, and there was no room for being ordinary. That was the problem. Bertie, as the family called him, was not extraordinary in the way they wanted. He was not academically brilliant. He struggled to focus. He disliked long study sessions. He became restless, distracted. He was not his father, and in that household, that was unforgivable. His older sister absorbed information effortlessly. She was disciplined, sharp, precise, the reflection of Albert's ideals. Bertie was different. He preferred conversation to textbooks. He preferred people to philosophy. He remembered names. He read moods. He could walk into a room and dissolve tension with a sentence. But charm is invisible in a family obsessed with intellect. When a child's natural strengths are ignored, he learns something dangerous. He learns that who he is not enough. Queen Victoria's letters reveal something chilling. She did not simply worry about her son. She resented him. She described him as a source of anguish, as a disappointment, as weak. Imagine growing up knowing your mother feels shame when she looks at you, the future king of the largest empire on earth, emotionally starved inside his own home. When affection is conditional, rebellion becomes a form of survival. At 19, Bertie was sent to Ireland for military training. Officially, it was discipline. In reality, it was distance. There, away from the suffocating expectations of his parents, something shifted. One night, fellow officers arranged for an actress to visit him in secret. Her name was Nellie. What happened between them has been exaggerated over time, but the psychological significance is clear. It was not simply his first sexual encounter. It was his first unsupervised choice. For the first time in his life, he acted without permission. For a young man raised under relentless scrutiny, that freedom was intoxicating. But in rigid societies, secrets rarely stay hidden. The affair reached his father. Prince Albert confronted him in person. A cold walk, a severe conversation, words heavy with disappointment. 3 weeks later, Albert was dead. Officially, the cause was illness, but Queen Victoria blamed her son. Grief needs a target, and Bertie became it. From that moment forward, he carried something heavier than shame. He carried guilt. Whether fair or not, it shaped him. Victoria withdrew emotionally and politically. She ruled for decades, keeping her son at a distance. He remained heir, but without responsibility, no real authority, no meaningful role.